There are places where history never left, where echoes of the past linger in the stone, where the dead don't haunt in anger, but in regret. This is one of them. Off the coast of Delaware, in the center of the river, sits a fortress few Americans have ever visited, but many have heard whispering about. Fort Delaware, built on Peapatch Island, originally designed to protect the Union. But by the height of the Civil War, it became something else. A prison, for Confederate soldiers, and for some, a graveyard. At its peak, Fort Delaware held over 12,000 prisoners. Conditions were brutal: disease, starvation, psychological torment. Most of the men who died there were buried in mass graves across the river, but some say, not everyone who suffered at Fort Delaware was a prisoner. In the 1970s, Dr. Hans Holzer was asked to investigate the site after multiple staff and park rangers reported seeing a uniformed man pacing the ramparts at night. Not just once, over and over, always alone, always watching. Witnesses described some strange occurrences. Footsteps echoing in the courtyard at 2 in the morning, the clink of metal keys with no visible source, and every now and then, the words, "Stand down!" shouted from empty hallways. And just once in a while, one figure in a faded blue uniform, hands behind his back, face never visible. Holzer, honestly fascinated, arrived with medium Ethel Johnson-Meyers, who had joined him on dozens of cases involving soldiers who didn't know they were dead. As they entered the inner yard, Ethel stopped. "He's not angry," she said softly. "He's ashamed." They set up in the old guard barracks, which are now used for storage. Ethel went quiet for a moment, then she spoke. "My name is Elias Turner, Union Guard, 12th Regiment. I didn't mean to let them die like that. I followed orders." Holzer leaned in. He knew the symptoms: guilt, trapped duty, spiritual unrest. Ethel began shaking, her voice cracked. "There was one boy, just a boy. I told him I'd bring water, I forgot, he was dead in the morning." Holzer believed Elias Turner was a real person, a Union Guard stationed at Fort Delaware who died years later but, never forgave himself for what he witnessed, or allowed. Unlike most hauntings, this wasn't a ghost who died on sight. This was a man who had lived a full life, but in death, returned to the place where he'd failed. Holzer later wrote, "Some spirits aren't trapped where they died, they're trapped where they broke." He left behind a plaque, unofficial but approved by staff, placed near the main cell block where Elias had once patrolled. It reads, "To the guard who stayed behind, you are not forgotten. The war is over. Rest." After the plaque was placed, something changed. The footsteps didn't stop entirely, but the shouting did. The heavy presence that once clung to the upper tower lifted. One ranger said, "It's like he stood down, for the first time in a century." Not all hauntings are about revenge. Some are about duty, some are about guilt, and some are just a soul trying to make it right. Trying to make it right. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more of the same stories.